Welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club.
The riders are underway then, and they make their way off the start line. Now the big question will be, who has got the climbing prowess in this front group? These riders at the end of this race will really know they've been in a tussle, because once you ride this sort of course, you really do feel it afterwards. Our leading trio, Hermansson and Bjarhed, the two Swedish riders with Jojo Bauer at the front. They were part of the groups of last week. Can Jojo Bauer pull this one off? Sunday Race Club, race number 4 is coming to a conclusion, and Jojo Bauer is closing the gap. Another big attack, and it comes here from Lisa Hermansson, who signifies and realises that this is dangerous. There's the gantry for the finish line. Who is going to take race number 4? It looks like it's going to be the double for Lisa Hermansson, and it was Marlene Bjarhed who took it with the throw of the bike on the line.
So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club prize money race. At the end of May, this is our women's final. My name's Matt Payne. I'm going to be putting words to all of the action, and it's great to be back. A big thank you to Anthony and to Jeff whilst I have been elsewhere, but back for a while now. And boy, has there been some great qualifying races. Amazing finishes, and as we just saw, it has been a Swedish-dominated second half of qualifying with Marlene Bjarhed and Lisa Hermansson really handing it out to the riders who have traditionally made up the top spots. So we're going to see a really exciting race today, because we've got a real mix of riders. 4 qualifying races. All comes down, though, to what our riders can do on the next 35 kilometers of riding. 95 meters of climbing. Spread across the 35k of route are 7 segments. These will give us time splits for the riders' time in each segment, and that then will give us a really good indicator of who's gaining and who's losing time. So segments 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all 1k segments. On that first relatively flat section with 400 meters of climbing in the first 26.5 kilometers. The 5th segment, it does round that out, and that takes us to 19k. Number 6 then goes from 21.5 to 26.5k, and really to that division between the second part of the course. And then we have our second 5k segment number 7, and that is once we're on to that final climb, going from 28 to 33 kilometers, and that's a real key indicator of who's climbing well and who is maybe finding that ascent more difficult. 535 meters in the last 8.5 kilometers. So 35k the distance, 935 meters of ascent, 7 segments for us to get an idea of who's riding well here on the prize money final, all part of the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Some amazing riders. We have strong teams. Now, we have one individual rider in the shape of Marlene Bjarhed. Marlene, of course, a winner of qualifying and right up in the mix from Sweden. The strong girls with Brommel, Faber, Schroeder, and Adeline, all strong riders. Spartan Obstacles, Fua, Van Heuling, Cavedo, and Brogan. Again, any one of those riders could take the win. Las Colombianas, Dallimore, Bauer, Roy, Sanchez, and Giraldo. Going to be a real battle for that team win. Category 1, really tough. Real top quality athletes. Going to be interesting to see who can take the win and who can take the team prize. Category 2, again, individuals like Golden Light. We've got Lisa Hermansson, Fernando Hernandez, as well as Niv Vakokol. But don't forget, we have the team from Cycle Zone with Angel Hadlock and Jenny Tan, Novelin Kokkonen. Always a big fight in there. Strong women, with great riders in there. Sanchez, Santiago, Hernandez, and Para. Don't discount Slam Bike Shop team. Cordero, De Garcia, Muñoz, and Herrera. And of course, Team Fitness 10. We've got Caviria, we've got Reina, Kimono. Again, riders who are going to be in a real big battle. in that battle for team honours. Who's going to take it? Well, we're going to find out at the end of 35k. So our rider's setting off, and as you can see, just off from the line as one big bunch. This is where the battle is to get into the leading group. If you haven't watched the men's race, make sure you watch it from the start on the MyWhoosh channel. Very, very interesting from the word go, and it looks like we're seeing the same again here, with the very front of the race being a real mix of riders here. So Faye Faber right in there, Lisa Brommel mixing it up at the front along with Jojo Bauer. Bauer, of course, rider who's top 3 in the last qualifying race. Is it going to be her day today? Faye Faber in the battle from the word go. This is a really interesting start to the race. Fiona Schroeder, right-hand side of your screen, chasing Brommel, left-hand side of your screen. 2 teammates, both riding for Strong Girls, but Brommel making that lead group. Schroeder at the moment just distance from that, just a smidgen, and that is going to mean that the chase is on behind. Now, Noveline Kokon, one of our real strong riders, always up in the fight at the front of the race. In that leading group is starting to pull clear, some strength in depth and some big numbers as well here. So in with our leaders initially, Catherine Fuhr up at the front. Then we've got Balon in there, Brommel in there. We've got Golden Light in there, one of our second category riders. Kokkonen in there again, second category rider. Parrot is in the mix, Cadera, as well as Tank Vado. And look at this, we certainly have Marlene Bjerrehead in there. Bjerrehead in there, the rider who is expected to figure strongly. Will she be able to handle this course? And she's now a marked rider. Anyone with the Swedish flag, I think, at the moment on the side of their name is going to be under scrutiny from the rest of the race field to make sure that they keep a handle on them. There's going to be no gifts today. Left-hand screen, riding with Elodie Reynard. Reynard, again, another really strong rider for the Team Fitness 10 squad, and kicking out 255 watts. That is in the slipstream as well, so it shows you the pace is really hot at the moment as we come through to 1.5k, 2.5 minutes of racing nearly covered as they come in and through. And Elodie Reynard really is looking to push on. Interesting mix of wheels on here and bikes. So riders going for an all-round bike generally. This leading group pushing the way through very strongly as we come up towards the end of 2 kilometers. Are we going to see a split? Looks like we've got one rider just clear up at the front. That's one of our category 1 riders who is going to be taking this split. That's a big, brave move at this stage in the game. Just going to watch these riders come around this corner, and it looks like Brommel is in the mix with Kokkonen. So Kokkonen brought back into the leading group. The chase is on behind, but at the moment, it looks to me like the big favourites in here now. Hermansen is in here. Lisa Hermansen, rider who took a great finish up on the top, and in fact, a rider who we know can win on this course. Catherine Fuhr going to be one of the real strong riders. So again, another regular here on MyWhoosh. Don't forget to jump on to the Facebook on MyWhoosh. Lots of chat on there, lots of updates on there. Don't forget, of course, to give us a subscribe on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. And, of course, you can follow me. That's Matt Fix a Pain on Facebook. You can catch up with me on Strava, see just how many miles I've been and kilometres I've been covering and meters I've been climbing whilst we've been moving out and about in the gap. The shadow of my former self these days, but there won't be any match for any of our athletes out there on the course today because they are absolutely flying. Riding in with Gemma Brogan at the moment, kicking out 4.3, 4.8 watts per kilo, 339 watts there. I'm sure I just saw come up on the screen there from Brogan, one of our real strong riders, particularly if it comes down to a sprint into the line. Remember, all these riders competing individually for the individual prizes here on the prize money final, and of course competing for team honours as well, with 3 teams in category 1, 4 teams in category 2, and 3 teams in category 3 contesting the battle, and all of them need to finish 3 riders, the top 3 riders to count. So Catherine Fuhr in the mix, sitting in with the rise here, 166 beats per minute, 3.2 kilometres covered. A little bit further back, looks like Rebecca Dallimore just missing that start for the last Colombianas squad. She's got company with Gaviria on a wheel at the moment, but they were left off that start line. Getting that start just right is critical to be able to kick off and away. Once those gaps open up, then you can really be in trouble. So at the moment, on the left of your screen, Dallimore on the right of your screen. Dallimore riding for Las Colombianas, Fura riding for the Spartan Obstacles squad, separated 400 meters on the road. In front of Dallimore is Carmona. It looks like Poulton and then Garcia and Daglio in front, and we're just having a little bit of a run back through the field on the right hand screen whilst we watch our leaders on the left. So Luz Carmona at the moment looking strong, continuing to push here. So Carmona working hard for that Team Fitness 10 teammate of Gaviria, teammate of LD Reynard. Reynard on a great ride though, up with the leaders as Faber really starts to wind it up, coming into the checkpoint at the end of segment number 1. Brommel goes over the top. Hansen in the mix. Everybody wants to be right in this fight as they come into line. This gives us a good indicator of who is riding well in the early stages. So Las Colombianas, Jojo Bauer takes a top spot. And if you look at the Las Colombianas team, they currently have 2 riders in that top 12 riders. Spartan Obstacles, so well, they've got Van Heuling, regular winner Van Heuling. They've got Brogan in there, Thor in there, and Quevedo, all of which are more than capable of taking that win. The Strong Girls squad, they've got Brommel in the breakaway with Faber as well. Now, will they be able to take that win? But you can't discount our individual riders. Hermansen, Bjerhead, as well as Light. So Golden Light, Marlena Bjerhead, as well as Lisa Hermansen, all of which are going to be mixing it up at the front. Fast time, 1 minute 31 for Bauer going through there, going from the back of the group to the front and really working well to get that position. Now we're going to take a little bit of a look here. So we're in with LD Reynard, a real mix of Category 1 and Category 2 riders in that front group. And those Category 2 riders now have to be careful because it's so easy to get carried away when you're riding with strong riders, particularly on an esports platform. It's not like in real life of a road race. So you're in a road race, you're looking across, you can see the riders who you're next to. They see the screen, they can see the avatar, but they don't necessarily know the person. And that makes it really easy to actually just get carried away and just ride with riders who are much stronger. Equally, you don't want to put a limiter on because you say, I'm Cat 2, I should be riding with Cat 1. You've got to keep pushing, and that's what brings them on. That's why it's such a great discipline, riding in a virtual world, but really against real people around the world in a real time. And that is why MyWhoosh is such a great platform. Add in all the verification, and you know that you've got a really fair race. Now, just seeing Kokkonen on the right-hand side of your screen, just dropping off the pace a little. Got to push on here. Don't know whether there's been a technical issue for Novelin. It looks like Novelin has got a little bit of a problem here, having to kick out the watts to try and get back into that group. 174 beats per minute, so working hard. But it looks like Fernandez, the rider in front, is the tail end of that leading pack, and that means that the leading group of 16 riders is starting to put some serious distance into Kokkonen, and that is a good move when we come into the climb because Novelin Kokkonen is always a rider who we know can feature strongly up on the front. Now, coming into our next segment, you can see that gap is still there. Kokkonen's not giving up on this, but the riders in front are starting to push on. And we can just see riding in with Catherine Fuhr as she goes in to the start of segment number 2. This is another 1 kilometer segment. I'm going to hit this segment as a big group of 16 riders. So 16 riders clear at the front of this course, really promoting those fairly big groups of riders. Not a pack of 50, but definitely 15, 16, 17, 18 riders seems to be a really good number to take into this course with its rolling start, going into the climbs a little bit later on. So riding in with Jojo Bauer, again, another of our regular riders, heart rate at 173, so working well at the moment, 82 revs per minute, so a cadence over 80s, nice and smooth, higher cadence. generally the more whippy, the more reactive you can be to other people's changes in pace. It's much harder if you're rolling around at 50, 60 revs per minute to then be able to push down. It requires a lot more strength and less suppleness to respond to those attacks. So keeping those revs high really, really critical. Big power, low res works if you're trying to time trial your way in, but you can just see at the moment Kokona now being caught there by Tan, by Hernandez, and looks like behind Lydia Adeline. Another of our riders who we know can be up in the mix. Lydia Adeline riding for the Strong Girls squad is not all that far behind Kokona. One of our Category 1 riders, and a rider who in fact was in second place recently in one of our MyWhoosh qualifying races, up at the top of the Jebel Hafit, and was caught with only a few hundred meters to go. So we'll see how that plays out with the chasers, some really strong chasers trying to close down our leading 16 riders who are in this leading bunch. So 16 riders away, coming into checkpoint segment number 2, and I think we're going to see some familiar names up on the front once again. So this time around, it is Catherine Four, who goes through 1:45 for this kilometre segment for Spartan Obstacles. Teammates Brogan in the mix as well. Brogan 0.4 of a second back. In fact, it's all 12 riders shown on your screen through in 0.858, within 0.9 of a second of the leader, the fastest time through that. And it shows you that group are very well matched and moving smoothly. Heart rates, real different story. 151 beats per minute right the way through. In fact, our highest heart rate, 181, and that is from Marlene Bjarhead. And Bjarhead, of course, a winner, a fast finisher as well as a great climber, but that's a big heart rate number up there. Who is going to be able to push on? Who's going to be able to make that count? So last segment for Bauer Reynard Para coming through. 1:45, the time of our leader Bauer at the moment on the front, continuing to push the watts per kilo, yo-yoing up and down from this leading pack at the moment with 93 meters of ascent covered so far. The riders are just making their way up along the straight here. Going to take this right hand turn, it sweeps around and up again. So the riders now are coming in to this climb. They've got to keep that pressure on. Good to see that Elizabeth Van Heuling, one of our regular race winners, in the mix. Looks like Dorothy is in here. Dorothy Gonzalez Arroyo, one of the real fast finishers yet to really make a mark. I think she's got a win in waiting. Will today be the day? If you're going to get a win, get it on the day when it's the prize money final here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Remember, every single month we have our qualifying races up until the last Sunday in the month. And then it is the prize money final. 2 qualifying races with verified results to count to go through and qualify for the final. At the moment, these riders know that they are battling it out for the prize money for the individual classification and for their team classification. And really interesting that Spartan Obstacles with Fuhr, Van Heuling and Brogan all in that lead group, looking good. The Strong Girls team, while Brommel in there, Faber in there, but Schroeder and Adeline are not. For Las Colombianas, so Bauer is in the mix, Gonzalez Rua is in the mix. We're looking to see who else is going to be up there. We know that Dallimore is just a little bit further back. Don't forget, of course, the individuals who are going to be also wanting to throw a spanner in the works as well, as we still see Kokona continuing to chase. So trying to get onto the wheels, but at the moment, Lisa Hernansson. So Lisa Hermansson from Sweden, the rider in the green jersey there with the long black socks, just pushing on to the front, 3.2 watts per kilo, just coming up for the 10K marker of the 35 kilometers done. And you can just see, look sort of well at home in this leading bunch, but so does Codera coming through very strongly as well. So Leslie Ann Codera for the Slam Bike Shop Team 1 looking good in the mix here. They're fighting for that first position in the second category. And that means big prize money for them as well. As you can see, Julie Sanchez in here. We've also got Elodie Reynard in the Miss Kafiri, right up at Angie Parra in the mix 2. Good to see Angie running for the Strong Women's squad in the fight here. So lots of second category women racing with the first category women and really showing that there is some strength in depth in the women's competitions here as well. So through into our next segment, we hit segment as we come into the 10K marker. With 15 minutes, quarter of an hour of racing complete. Riding in with Catherine Furr. So we come round this group of 16 riders pulling clear very early on and continuing to open the gas. We're just going to try and take a little bit of a check back, I think, fairly shortly, just see how far back Conan is a reasonable distance back. But I think we're just starting to show one or two riders at the back. They're just starting to struggle with this pace at the front of the race. It continues to push. So riding currently in with 12th place. That's Angie Parra at the back of this group as the group starts to slide. Looks like Hermansen a little bit further back at the moment. Now continues to squeeze those pedals. And it is very much about trying to hold position, to stay in the draft. The big Watts numbers, top left-hand side of your screen, underneath the power bar chart, you can just see those Watts. They flip from green to red. They're green when our riders are in the draft. They're black when they're out of the draft. They're not sat behind anyone. They're having to do more work. And as they come in towards checkpoint number 3, who's going to set that fastest time? It could well be. It's going to be a Faye Faber or Lisa Hermansen. Hermansen is going to take, I think, the fastest time through there. We'll soon get an update on that. Here we go. So Covado, in fact, going from the back into the middle of the group, because these are our split times, remember, tied with Sanchez. But look at the volume of green jerseys in there, because you can see we've got Covado, Sanchez, Reynard, we've got Hermansen and Leslie Ann Codera, all in those green jerseys, second category riders, mixing it with Bauer, Gonzalez, Rue, then Van Heulen, Brogan, Brobel, Faber, and Fur. They're the riders in the first category in the mix there, and all those heart rates all are starting to lift now. Many more up in the 160s, 170s at the moment. Now, as you can see, the work being done there to push on to try and keep that pressure on the rest of the riders. Watts per kilo? Well, we're looking at 3.2 to 4.2. So a fairly standardized spread there, really, of watts per kilo as they came in and through. But if you look at the watts, it's a different story. Now, here we go. Back with our riders, riding in with Lisa Hermansen. Hermansen in with our leading four. Just looking to see if there's any splits starting to occur between our leading riders at the moment. Now, only fractions of a second at the moment. So Van Heulen right in the mix. Faber, Brobel, as well as Covado. Looks like Reynard Bauer, as well as Elodie Reynard. Leslie Ann Codera's in this group as well. It's not whittling down too much. We're now hitting 12.3 kilometers. So the time ticking on, the distance is ticking through underneath the wheels, and we are ascending meter after meter, now at 120 meters of ascent covered. And at 12.5 kilometers, Lisa Hermansen really is looking strong. The question is she doing too much work here? It's about making sure you use the course, use your power, use your strong sections of the course to your advantage. Recover when you can, and then put in something that is going to damage everybody else. This is not friendly by any stretch of the imagination when these guys want to go out and win. You can see that they're racing very strongly, and what they're looking to do is either get a gap on everyone else or put them under pressure and really make them hurt. So our leading group at the front on the left of your screen, a little bit further back, interesting battle here. You've just got Angel and Hadlock in here. So Angel Hadlock coming through, looking strong there for the Czech Republic. I think it's going to be just in the mix here. We've still got a couple of first category riders with Adelaide and Sanchez in here. We've got Conan in this mix as well, Giraldo and Baton. So real strong pack of riders, and they are closing in. I think we're going to see them closing in very quickly on the rider in front, because you can't stay clear of this group, I think, for very long. And it could well be that the rider they're closing in on, and it's going to be subject to confirmation, is going to be Conan, who's just up the road. But looking at the splits, it may well be that we have lost Marlene a little bit in between the two groups. So leading groups, we've still got Hermansen in there, but of the two Swedish riders, I think we may well find there's been a little bit of a change a little bit further back. We're going to have a little look at this leading group in more detail now. So Dorothy Gonzalez right at the moment, just rolling in nicely in the top 5 there. Van Heuling's in here of the expected favourites. Got Brogan and Bauer, Cavedo in the mix. Hermansen is still sat comfortably, I think, in this group. But this leading group at the moment looking good, but it is fracturing towards the back of the pack. And that is going to do some damage because the riders are then going to have to chase on. So they're going into the next segment. This is segment number 4 of 7, remember? So 7 segments in total. This is segment number 4. Our first of 5 segments all at 1K. So on the map, as you can see here on our route, you can tell as we go to segment 4, 14K to 15K, 1 kilometre long. Our 5th segment is the same distance, a little bit further down the distance. Then when we hit segment number 6, that takes us from 21.5 kilometres right the way to the end of this section before we then hit the mountain and go into segment number 7. So a real tough course, very fast so far. These rolling hills, these early rolling hills, definitely starting to feel it in the legs, and we are seeing the gaps open up at the moment. So I think 12 riders left in contention out of what was initially a group of 16. So I think we've got 12 riders now in contention. Just going to get that confirmed. But looks to me like we have basically 12 left out of our initial pack who could be in with a chance of taking the overall win. The chasing groups behind, they are starting to pick up rider after rider on the way through. And really interesting to see we've got 3rd category, 2nd category and 1st category riders chasing behind and working together. It really is critical to be able to work together and to be able to keep hold of some draft to be able to stay in the shelter now. As we come into the end of segment number 4, this should give us an indication. 11 riders left in the pack now. So we shed another rider. Who are we missing of the big favourites in there? Well, we are missing Marlena Bjarhed. So Bjarhed not in the front group now. She's been shed. So one of the big favourites has gone. And that is going to be a real shame because so we're expecting her to be able to rip it up at the front. So it looks like Bjarhed taken out of that group. Still got Van Heuling, Fuhr, Faber, Brogan and Co. Hermansen's in there as well. But we are now down to 11 riders. That whittling down process, that erosion of numbers, the steady damage that is being done shedding riders. Remember, we started off with about 17, 18 riders in that pack. It quickly went down to 16. It stabilized there, but now we have steadily worked our way down to 11 riders on the front. The chasers behind are working hard, but they are going to be picking up the detritus that is shed from the back of this group, and that is in some real class athletes who have been distanced. And it is Marlene Bjarhed who's gone. It looks like Golden Light no longer in that leading group either. She's been distanced, as has Elodie Reynard, but they are all fighting for positions. So here we are in with Golden Light, 13th position at the moment. So at the back of the main pack, Jojo Bauer in that pack. Then Sanchez, Justice as Golden Light. Reynard Para has gone as well. And certainly it looks to me like these riders are going to have a real fight to try and hold position. No positions are secure. Nobody is in a position where they know that they have got maybe 3rd or 4th or 5th place secured, because we have so many riders from all different groups. Look at the number of green jerseys that we have in here still. We still have a mix of 2nd and 1st category riders with Hermansen in here. Along with that, it's going to be Sanchez in the mix now. Julie Sanchez in the mix at the moment, looking good, but she's not going to be in the fight for the 1st category. She's in the fight for the 2nd category. When with Julie Sanchez, a strong women's team, she's got to get on the wheel. So Leslie Ancaldera in with her as well. But this is the time where Sanchez has to push. So you can see Julie Sanchez now pushing to get into this group as they come in to the rise. Critical point to do it. get into the slipstream when you get that little gap. It looks like Cadera just a little bit distanced back, and Sanchez now in with Hermanson. So that's our second category riders. Sanchez has to push to go up on it here. Cadera just a little bit further back. You've got to work together here. So Leslie and Cadera riding for the Slam Bike Shop Team 1. Julia Sanchez riding for the Strong Women's Race Team. Trying to stay in this group. It's got this 6% slope here, 166 beats per minute for Sanchez at the moment. That's heart rate's just starting to drop down, 165, 164. So just doing a little bit of a recovery in there after that real big push. Great rest. Look at that, 90, nearly 89, 92 rest as she goes up over the top. So really pushing over the top. You can see as the riders push over, that's where they've got to try to stay in with that leading. But Sanchez at the moment, the rider who is 10th rider on the road, with a little bit of a gap between her and Bauer, who is 9th place. So that group had gone to 11. It's back to 9. Now it's 10 riders strong as they come through. Cadera is still losing a little bit of ground here. So I think we're down to 10 riders in total, and we're going to just do a double check. Yeah, 10 riders at the moment, but that could easily change now. Gemma Brogan pushes on the saddle there. What's up at 5.3? Cadera, I think, just made contact once again. Good riding by her to get back into this pack. And once again, you can see as the pace and the pressure is put on the front of the pack, the riders are yo-yoing the way out of the back. It's not stable by any stretch of the imagination, but if you're struggling to stay with the group now, that can be an indication you can struggle later on in the course. It could be, of course, that you're being smart and saving your energy for later on. The next big kicker heading up, you can see in front of the riders on the other side of the bridge going up to the MyWhoosh Hollywood-esque sign on the hillside. And this is where I expect to see a push, a big push here coming. I think Faber just squeezes it onto the front, not wanting to lose ground going into this hill. But look at this, over the top goes Lisa Hermanson at 4 watts per kilo, 4.7 now. So Hermanson, the category 2 rider, leading this race up on to the slope. She's breaking through the breeze, currently traveling at 28 kilometers an hour. The chasing group going at a very similar speed behind, but the initial gap really opened up those gaps. But they are collecting riders. We're seeing a lot of riders coming back together again. So group number 1 well away at the front of the race, currently at 17.7. Behind that leading group, a lot of the riders that were in the race lead and have been a distance have been dropped off and being collected by the groups behind, as we hit 17.8k for the race leaders of 35 kilometers, of course, here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club finals. If you just joined us, welcome to the finals for May. My name is Matt Payne, bringing you all of the action here on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel, you get notified when we go live every Sunday. Got some great races coming up for our June races. We'll be kicking off the qualifying next week. Before that, well, there's just the matter of the final and the prize of money final for May at stake for these riders. They go past the 18k marker. That means they've got less than 17 kilometers to decide who is taking away the big first prize. It's going to be second, third, and fourth, and just as importantly, which team is going to take away top spot. Lisa Bronwell from the Strong Girls squad with Faber in the mix. However, Schroeder and Adeline distance from this leading group. Spartan Obstacles, well, they've still got Fua, they've still got Van Heuling in here, and they've still got Brogan in here, so they could be the riders in the mix. They should be in the strongest position of the riders on the course in terms of Team 1. But don't forget, of course, Team 2 riders are looking strong, and our team, the 3 riders doing some fantastic performances. You can catch up with all of the results. Jump onto mywhoosh.com and then click on to results. You'll see the racing is live on there. You've got the live results. You then also have the unofficial results we can get through and over the line. All the results then verified, checked, the AI put into operation as well as checking all of the riders' performances to make sure that we get the correct results and the right winner. So in through segment 5 with Bauer leading the way at 117 as she came through there. So Jojo Bauer leading them through for the Las Colombianas, and her teammate in third place, Gonzalez, are behind. But if you look at the teams with the riders in to count for the team competition, Spartan Obstacles with Quevedo, with Fua, with Van Heuling and Brogan up against Strong Girls team, but Strong Girls only have 2 riders, Faber and Brummel. And the Las Colombianas only 1 rider in the 2 riders in the mix with Gonzalez and Bauer, and that means at the moment it is Spartan Obstacles race to lose in terms of the team competition. Who's going to take the over or the win, the individual win? Will it be Hermansen, who showed just how good she is? She may be a category 2 rider, but she's certainly strong enough to figure at the finish as Faber continues to keep that pace fast on the front. And again, we're going to go in and more climbing is still to come out on the course as we come up. We're going to hit the 20k marker very shortly. And Faber leading them through as Gonzalez already goes over the top. Hermansen holding in the top 4 or 5. Same names up on the front. Like we said before, it's often not about who's doing the most work. It's very often about who's playing it smart and riding and saving energy, sitting in the wheels, surfing behind the leading riders, keeping the watts on their numbers in green, which means that they're doing less work because they're sat in the shelter of the other riders. And that is absolutely key on this game, as it is with all esports. It's knowing the game and how to play that, and making sure that you use all of those tactics to your advantage and make sure that they work to your advantage. At the moment, Faber at the moment back on to the front, Brummel, Hermansen, Fua, right up in the mix. Van Heuling at the moment staying out of the draft. So is Brogan. 2 very smart riders running for Spartan Obstacles, not doing all that much, but conserving energy, not having to push into the wind too much, not having to do too much, not worried about the riders that are closing in from behind. They know what those time gaps are. The MyWhoosh platform, a data-rich platform, so much information on our riders' screens for them to be able to see what's going on, to watch what the competition is doing, as well as looking at their own numbers. And that's one of the reasons why it's such a great racing platform. So into our next section of climb, the climb ahead sign, something that no one wants to see when they're out and racing. 20k covered now with this 35 kilometer course, heading in fact out towards 21 kilometers. So the distance is well and truly ticking down. This stepped climb, not particularly easy. It breaks the rhythm up. You can see on the right hand side of your screen the little grey box of constantly changing. Currently at 0.2, 0.1. That's the slight downhill before the next kicker, the next rise up. And that constant change in gradient really does mess, not just with people's legs and lungs, but also with the head, because they've got to keep this pacing right. They want to stay in position, want to save energy, but at the same time, they can't afford to relax. The slightest miscalculation, and they're going to be in trouble. Cordera at the moment, well, she's not in this leading group. She got distanced along with Sanchez and co, and now well over a minute behind. That's made a huge difference. The leading group of 9 riders, well, the winner is going to come from one of these 9. And at the moment, Faber looking very strong today, doing lots of the work on the front, always in a great position, sat up near the front. And Faber with Hermansen really putting the pressure on now as we come up onto this slope. Who's in trouble? Is anybody going to lose position here? At the moment, Jojo Bauer and Gemma Brogan are in the danger zone. They're a little bit further back. They'll have to push on as they go up over the top. So in with Bauer at the moment. She's continuing to push with Quevedo and Brogan. I don't think there's enough of a gap to lose the slipstream, but they know afford to relax. It's very easy to get out, to not pay attention, just like in a track or a road race where you don't, if that gap goes, you've got to put in a lot of effort to close that gap down. So leaders left hand side of the screen, a little bit further back down the course. You can just see Elodie Reynard. She's chasing Golden Light, chasing one of our hot favourites. That's Marlene Bierhead, who was expected to figure strongly in the race. You can see the two riders together. So Golden Light just going over the top there of Marlene. So at the moment, Marlene just in the mix in this fight with Golden Light. She won't want to have the second category rider beat her. They've got some work to do to push on with the front group at the moment. Manson certainly in the mix and looking very at home in category 1. Remember, of course, the categories are a fairly fluid and dynamic thing. They respond to the race they're in, and so those splits are based on the riders that enter. It's not a fixed watts per kilo line that stays the same week in, week out. So everybody gets a great race. Well, wherever you are in those race fields, there's somebody to race against, somebody to battle against. There's somebody to have a great competition and a great race on the Sunday Race Club, and that's why these dynamic categories work so well, because it gives all these riders great competition. Who's going to take away top spot? Well, the distance is ticking down, coming in towards 23 kilometers, a little bit further back. A real battle between Sanchez and Cordera. They're both second category riders, but this leading group, well, Hermansen leading that second category competition at the moment, right up in the front group. So some great racing at the moment. Just watching these riders working well together, just trying to keep it clear. The lead group very, very strong indeed. So Hermansen, is it going to be the Swedish day? She's been absolutely flying, and certainly looks to me like she is going to be in the mix. She's not hiding away. She's certainly putting pressure on the front. Faber's doing the same as well. Faber definitely been putting the envelope somewhat, just trying to be sure the riders know that they've been in a race, that they've had to work hard to stay with that leading group. That certainly looks to me like Julie Sanchez, Leslie Ann Cordera really are going to have their work cut out to get anywhere near the distance between them now. 1.1 kilometers between the two groups, between the group currently being led by Faye Faber and Catherine Fuhr. For the Spartan Obstacles, Faber of the Strong Girls team, really keeping that pressure on at the front of the leading 9 riders. With Bar having just yo-yoing around the back of that pack somewhat, which interesting to see that there's no one name particularly that sticks out as not having gone on the front. Maybe Quevedo, Karuk Quevedo, the rider who has stayed out of the way the most. So coming up to the 25-kilometer marker, just about to hit that as we go into the village. A little bit further back, you can just see a golden light just leading through. She's got just in front of her Marlene Bierhead. Bierhead just working to try and keep in front. Don't forget, of course, all the results going up on to the MyWhoosh website. That's mywhoosh.com/results. On there, you'll see there are live races results followed by the unofficial results when the riders have crossed the line, and then that will become confirmed results when all the verification checks have come in. Our riders subject, of course, from even before they start racing the verification check-in, they are real people putting out real power in real time, and the AI and the systems in place, all part of what makes MyWhoosh a fantastic platform to come and race on. If you want to come and have a ride, don't forget, of course, download the app. You can do that on the MyWhoosh.com website. Download the app, jump on, grab a ride. That could be a My Bunch ride. It could be a Whoosh's ride. It could be a Battle the Bot ride. And don't forget, you can regularly ride with the riders that you see up here. And of course, myself, Matt Payne, on there as well. Steadily making my way up and through the levels and getting more and more of the kilometers underneath the wheels in the MyWhoosh world, all part of the fantastic platform. And don't forget, of course, you can always drop me a line. That's on Facebook. It's Matt Fixpayne on Facebook. You can follow me on Strava as well. And don't forget, of course, to click on and like the MyWhoosh pages on Facebook. And of course, put us a question, send us a message. It's always great to hear from our riders, whether that is how to pronounce your name, right the way through to questions about the tech, about the riding, or about the coverage. We're always happy to chat with the riders, and it's a great community. It's always great to see our riders in action, to catch up with what they've been doing as well. And great to see our new faces coming onto the scene, so challenging the established orders. Riders like Lisa Hermansen doing a fantastic job over the last few weeks of qualifying, along with Marlene Bjerrehead, but Bjerrehead not doing the ride today, currently sitting at 3 minutes 27 down on this leading group. Hermansen going to be upholding the Swedish honour, I think, at the moment, and the only rider in the green jersey in this lead group has come up to the end of segment 6. So our leading group about to come in through that checkpoint. Let's have a look at those times. So at the moment it is Quevedo, Bauer, Brommel, Van Heuling, Gonzalez Ray, followed by Faber and Hermansen. Those are the leading riders, with only Hermansen now left of those many second category riders who are in at the mixer to start off with now. Not quite so many left, just the one, Lisa Hermansen, battling it out with the rest of the riders who are all first category riders coming through. Now, interesting to see the chase is well and truly on behind as the riders are trying to get back in a touch, but it is going to be a tough going now. Gemma Brogan in the fight, jumping in with this group. This is going to be really interesting to see. She's the 9th rider on the course. Gemma Brogan, very, very, very strong rider. Brogan, a rider that we know could be in taking race wins and on the way through, but will today be the day? She's got some serious power. She's got a great kick as well. But can Brogan hold them as they come in? We're now at 27.1 kilometers. Remember, we finished sector number 6. That was also the end of the flatter stages. So you say flatter because it's definitely not flat. They're very, very hilly indeed. And this is going to be a tough finish up here on the hill as these riders make their way up into the mountains. It's not going to be the easiest finish for any of the riders. However, will it be Hermansen? Last time we were on this course, and that was the qualifying race on May the 15th, Hermansen took that race at victory ahead of Catherine Foot. Then it was a Bjerrehead who's been dropped. Then it was Bauer who's still in that leading group. Then it was Brogan in 5th place. Golden Light was in 6th. Golden Light has been dropped from that lead group. Gonzalez as well, being in the mix. But the race winner was Hermansen by 0.653 from Catherine Foot. Now, can Foot get this right? Can she get it nailed as to go in over the line? Not with that 0.6 down, but 0.6 up. Bjerrehead's out of the mix. Those 3 riders, with the 3 riders clear last time we were on this course, and that was the qualifying 2 weeks ago. So let's see who's going to take this out. Faber again in a big shift on the front here, keeping that pressure on the riders behind. You can see how hard they're going. They've got 1.6 kilometers to lead on Golden Light, who's normally in the mix now. Brummel, Faber, Hermansen all up there. Nobody being distanced too much further back down the race route. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So coming in to the start of Sector 7. This is a long sector, remember. This will take us right the way into the last few kilometers. Brummel comes in and through. So remember, this Sector 7 comes in and runs from 28k right the way to 33k. That will be 2k to go. So with 2k to go, they're going to finish this segment. That will take them out the other side, and we'll get a much better indicator of just how long they're going to be. And so let's see how they're going at the moment. Looking pretty smooth. The riders working well. 45 minutes of racing complete at the moment. Now this group just about holding all together. There's no one being detached at the moment. The riders behind Bierhead and Light being detached early on. It looks to me like Marlene Bierhead are trying to put an attack into Golden Light here a little bit further down. So right hand side of your screen, Marlene Bierhead, a rider who was third on this course last time, trying to drop Golden Light. Golden Light, though, really talented rider, really starting to push to get back in touch. So Brummel now, Hermansen, Bauer, Gonzalez, Ruhr, Van Heuling. We haven't seen much of Van Heuling on the very front yet. Is she biding her time? Is she going to kick at the right time? Brummel sat there waiting, trying to make sure she can get the timing right as well. Nobody wants to give this away. It is incredibly tight up at the front. Just to watch, the right a little further down. Currently in 14th place, top 15. For Elodie's going to be good result. She's chasing Light and Bierhead are in their own private battle ahead. Then it's Sanchez Cordera. But of course, we go into Convedo and Co. The leading group, left side of your screen, right hand side. The chase is on. You can just see the distance between each other. 2k now covering the riders from the start of the race to 14th place. And that is, shows just how ferocious the pace has been up at the front. Elodie Reinhardt chasing these two riders, Golden Light and Marlene Bierhead. They are in front. They are the riders who have that little bit of a gap. It's not much, and they've got to be careful. If they relax too much, they will see Elodie coming up behind now. Van Heuling on the left-hand side of your screen just rolls towards the front of that group. And this is the furthest up I think we've seen her for a long time, or waiting to put in that attack. We're at 29.4. Remember, this is a 35-kilometer course. Faye Faber takes up the running again. Faye Faber, we've seen her before when she's been distanced and maybe not been in the leading group, but she sits and sets a pace that's absolutely ferocious. She's chased onto the group regularly. Well, she's right at the front of the group now. She's got the riders with her, though, as they come into this steep section. We're now at 11.9%, 12.3. Hermansen at 5.8 watts per kilo. Drops down and she comes a crest. This will give the others a little bit of breathe. Trying to just ease off on those pedals, but it looks like Faber's not having any of it. Straight over the top she goes again. So Faber continuing to keep the pressure on, continuing to try and keep it smooth and fast on the front, not wanting to let this go anywhere. Hermansen and Brogan are working well behind her, trying to get that gap back down again. So look at this. This group just breaks, it reforms. Just seeing now, I think Lisa Brummel just in trouble. So Brummel has gone. She's gone from the back of that group. So Lisa Brummel behind Bauer, behind Brogan. And I think Brummel now at 5 seconds is in danger of being dropped out of this group. That is going to be another rider gone. And just watching Brogan left-hand side, golden light on the right-hand side of your screen. The two groups are working the way up here. Golden light to Marlena Bjarhead in a real fight, trying to close the gaps down left-hand side of the screen. Just a little bit further up the course, you've got Gemma Brogan sat in the mix, pushes her way up on to the front now as we come through 30.4, but very quickly Hermansen responds. Nobody wants to let any kind of gap go. Once it does, very hard to get back in again. Van Heuling is just hovering around the back. You can just see these positions are being changed round and round. It's like shuffling the cards in a pack. They are currently just exchanging the places being moved around. People going from the front to the back, to the middle, back to the front. Nobody is able to keep this stable. The most stable person is actually Faye Faber, sat on the front doing loads of work, trying to set a steady pace up there. And Faber again continues to push. Hermansen hovering around, waiting to go. 30.6k covered. We have 4.4 kilometers, 4.3 kilometers left now at the moment. We're at 51 minutes of racing. And this is where we're going to see who's got it right in terms of pace, who's got it right in terms of fuel, and who's got it right in terms of getting the fluids down as well, because this is where it all starts to really knock in and starts to take effect on the riders out on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Our women's final, the May final, coming in to the final of 4 kilometers very shortly. And at the moment, Faith Faber doing what has been an additional role for her in this race, sitting on the front and really keeping that pace steady on the way through. But Brogan now launches an attack at 5.5. She's seeing who she can shake out of this group. We've lost Brummel. She's at 8 seconds back. Faber's now at 3 seconds back on Brogan. Fuhr and Van Heuling moves up to the front now. Elizabeth Van Heuling, one of the big favourites, a rider who we know can take mountaintop victories, went up onto the top. Fuhr is there, the rider who was second last time we were on this hill to Hermansen, who's there in the green jersey of our leading second category rider. But look at this, immediately Faber goes back on the front. She does not want to let the pace drop for even a fraction of a second. But Van Heuling hovering and waiting. The closer we get to the top, the less chances there are to put in multiple attacks. The more likely it is that riders will have one chance and one chance only to put an effort in, because they're just not going to have enough time to recover if they're not careful. Catherine Fuhr, Elizabeth Van Heuling, Jojo Bauer, Lisa Hermansen, Faye Faber, Dorothy Gonzalez, Aurora Gemma Brogan, Karut Quevedo. They are the riders who are left in this group. Quevedo at the moment at the back of that pack. Right up at the front, Faye Faber setting the tempo. Hermansen moving up on the right-hand side in that green jersey, as we see Gonzalez Arroyo going back up towards Faber. Faber, though, puts another push on. Now Faber just ramping it up to 4.9 watts per kilo. Jojo Bauer looking to close that gap down. You can just see another steep section as we come up towards this right-hand turn. It levels a little bit before the right-hand turn comes in, as you can just see the numbers peeling off on that gradient. Faber knew when to attack, a really experienced rider on the MyWhoosh platform. Really see her putting in some big stints up on the front. She's got Quevedo for company, and it looks to me like they've still got the same riders in contention. Nobody is being shed, and the clock is ticking now. We're at 31.9 kilometers, 53, nearly 54 minutes of racing done. Brogan sits at the back of this group, just squeezes through. We're on one of the slight downhills that really turn the legs to jelly. If you've been pushing at a pace and it eases off, that jelly leg feeling, imagine sprinting to the top of a flight of stairs and keeping on sprinting as you go over there. Really do make things difficult when you go over the top and the gradient eases and it levels out, and that's what happens to the riders when they go up on a here now. Who's got it in the legs to be able to kick over the top of these little gaps? it's going to be tough stuff. We've got a real elite group of riders with Van Heuling now starting to move up towards the front, but again, another real shuffle of the pack. Brogan moves on to the front now. Hermansen goes over the top. Van Heuling and Faber back into a favourite spot. We're coming into another steeper section coming up. Faber leading them in at 4.6 watts per kilo this time. We're up at 5%. This little bit of a rise. We're seeing Faber just setting a rhythm down. Goes to 5.3 watts per kilo. And this is where the weak riders are going to be in trouble. Anyone who's starting to suffer, anyone who's done too much work too soon is going to be in trouble. We're at 2.5 kilometres to go. We're at 32.5. Faber setting the pace at 5.1 watts per kilo. Has she shed anybody? Well, it looks like Cavado is a couple of seconds down now, but they are not very far apart at all. Cavado has just got a little bit of a gap to close down. She can't afford to let that gap go. Once it goes, you're in trouble. So come on, Karoo, this is the time to push. Get back into that pack. We're now going to be coming down 2.3k to go. Cavado working really hard here. 167 beats per minute. Great revs as well as they come in. Now Bauer sits in as we see a move by Gonzalez Rui on the front and Hermansen straight over the top as well. There's nothing between these riders. We're coming down. It's going to be 2k to go very shortly. There's another dip and then we're into another rise. Remember, as we go through this sector checkpoint, segment 7, it is going to be 2k to go, 2 kilometers to go as we come through. And this is certainly going to show what those heart rates do. And we have riders who traditionally are lower, some who are higher, but this is where we get a good indicator who's going well. 8 riders in and through at the moment. Lowest heart rate of the lot is Cavado. Highest heart rate working in theory the hardest is going to be Churchill Bauer, but it is individual. If you look at those watts per kilo, Bauer 3.9 watts per kilo, Gonzalez Rui 4.4 watts per kilo with that fastest time 10:52 for that last segment. Great to see those riders absolutely hurtling, and we're now down into the last 2 kilometers. Don't forget you can play these back by jumping back onto the MyWhoosh.com or website. So 1.6k as we rejoin the front of the race. This is for the prize of money. A little bit further back, battles between individual riders all the way down the side of the mountain and around the course. All our riders' results on that MyWhoosh website, mywhoosh.com. Our leaders on the left of your screen now as they come through with 1.3 kilometers to go. Sanchez a little bit further down the mountain at 3 kilometers to go. Julie Sanchez, one of our regular riders, a very strong rider indeed, Sanchez. But at the moment, she's not in that final battle. Just going to be trying to make sure she gets the best place she can and to do the best job that she can for her team, for the strong women's squad. So Julie Sanchez is a strong women's squad on the right of your screen. We're running in with Gemma Brogan on the left of your screen. So Brogan on the left of the Spartan Obstacles, the team with that team win almost in their grasp. They've got to keep on holding on though. They've got Van Heuling in here for Spartan Obstacles. We've got Catherine Four in here. We've got Cavado in here. We've got Brogan in here, but they will want to take away the individual win. Brummel has not given up on her chase behind, but it is going to be tough stuff for Brummel to get back. Remember the distance between them. Well, at the moment, it's sitting at about 400 meters, and that is going to be too much to pull back. Brummel in the middle of the tunnel still as we see our leaders come clear of the tunnel into this next right-hand turn. The grade is a mean one as they come around the corner. You can see going up to 9% as we go over 900 meters of climbing as well. And the distance is coming down. We're at 800, now 700 meters to go. This is going to be about getting the sprint right. This is going to come down to who's got some power left. They're going to have to think about where we go. There's going to be one chance, and as we see them coming through, oh, it's getting tight. Nobody's gone. I was about to say we've just seen an attack, but we haven't. I don't think anybody's got the numbers down there yet, but now we see Gonzalez Rui go through. Van Heuling starts putting in some big numbers. She's at 7 watts per kilo, 8 watts per kilo, drops it back off though as they come back past. You've got to get the timing right. We're at 400 meters to go. It's going to be all about getting this absolutely dialed. It's going to be virtually a group sprint at the top here. They're all in contention. Who is going to take this? If it comes to a sprint, Brogan has got some serious firepower. She'll be waiting to unleash it in the last 100 meters, but Van Heuling goes at 12 miles per kilo. Now Van Heuling goes. She's been waiting. She times it. Will she take this? She's got a second gap on Fua, and it's going to be Elizabeth Van Heuling takes the win here on the Sunday Race Club, the prize money final. She takes that from Brogan, Fua, Gonzalez, Ray, Cabedo, and Faber. Let's get those results. Your screen, Elizabeth Van Heuling, half a second clear of Catherine Fua, with Gemma Brogan in third. The three teammates from Spartan Obstacles making it a 1-2-3 and a team win, subject to confirmation for the Spartan Obstacles teams. Dorothy Gonzalez Roy comes through fourth place for Las Colombianas. Spartan Obstacles teammate in fifth is Cabedo, followed by Bauer, Faber, and Hermansen. Hermansen, who took the win last time at the top of this mountain, takes what is eighth place and lost in that group coming through the finish. So, what a finish. Amazing kick. Van Heuling's timing, absolute perfection there. She kicked. She put in 12 watts per kilo on that kick. She got the gap and then she held it to the line to win by just over half a second from Catherine Fua. The riders coming inside the hour marker, and that shows you just how quick that race was. The riders coming through in 59.47. That's actually 3 seconds faster than the qualifying race on this self-same course. Now, Elisa Brommel on the way in to the line. She's going to take away a 9th place here today, I think, if my maths is to be believed. And hopefully I've got it right. There we go. Lisa Brommel comes through for the Strong Girls squad. The first of our Category 2 riders is going to be Lisa Hermansen. So she's got that 8th place coming inside the hour. So Hermansen takes away top spot in the individual second category of the race. So we have our first 9 riders in and through. Don't forget, of course, you can catch up with all of the full results on the MyWhoosh.com website. It's www.mywhoosh.com/results. Our top 9 riders in and through. I think we're going to see Julie Sanchez. She's into the last kilometre. She's going to round out our top 10 when she gets there. She's a clear gap now between her and the chase behind. So don't forget to make sure you tune in, make sure you subscribe. We're going to go into a next month of racing next week. We're going to start off with our qualifying race 1, run right the way through to qualifier 3, and then we'll be into the finals. So Julie Sanchez, our last rider to round out the top 10, and looks like she's going well at the moment as she comes into the last kilometre. Got this tight right hand turn, about 800 meters to go as she comes around this right hand turn. So the Sunday Race Club, every Sunday, I've got to say a big thank you to all of the team behind the scenes putting together all the getting the pictures, the images, and of course keeping everything rolling. Great fun to ride, great fun to race, and don't forget, of course, you can jump on and race as well. Make sure you download the app, get some riding in around the various worlds that we have here on MyWhoosh. Get signed up for the race. You need 2 qualifying rides that are verified to make it through to qualify for the finals, and then you can be in with that prize money final. Taking away top spot, Elizabeth Van Heuling. Second place at Catherine Fura. Third place at Gemma Brogan. Making up that winning team of the Spartan Obstacles here today. All the results on the MyWhoosh website, loads more features. Make sure you jump on and subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. Lots of great videos from Jeff, who has got how to get started, what you need to do to come and race, all the way through to personalizing your avatar as well. So make sure you give that a subscribe as well. Make sure you jump onto the Facebook page as well. Make sure you give me a follow. That's Matt Fix a Pain on Facebook, on Strava, and of course on MyWhoosh as well. We're going to bring home our last rider in the top 10. It's going to be Julie Sanchez. She's going to take second place in the second category riding. So while the second category riders through, it's going to be Julie Sanchez who's going to come through. She takes second in that and takes top 10 finish here at the end of the final. So well done to all of our finishes so far. For the full results, jump on to MyWhoosh. From me, Matt Payne, from all of the team here at MyWhoosh. Stay safe. We'll see you for the first qualifier next time round next week.